I'm Stephanie, the creative girl from behind the designs. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. And if you haven't already done so, I would truly appreciate if you'd subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification alerts for any future videos that I have posted. So today I want to come on and share with you a little bit of a change up, and then also to decorate the monthly planner for January in my creative journal. I have finally decided how I plan to use it, and I just wanted to share that with you and hopefully inspire your creative journal. So what I'm going to do is, if you remember, this is my current planner. I took the pink discs, and I loved it with the cover, but I had this old business cover, and I kind of want to freshen it up to this beautiful new cover. I just pulled out my little case of metal discs, and I took out some white metal, and then I had cut out some new vinyl for the cover. And the funny thing was from the last video, I had commented, you know, where we hadn't really had much snow. And I mean, literally the next day we started getting slammed with all this snow. So I was kind of feeling the white and the snow, and it just worked out perfect. So what I'm going to do quickly is take the things out of this existing planner. I'm going to put it into here. And then we're going to get working on the January month of the creative planner or creative journal and get that all set up, and I'll explain how I intend to use it, and we'll go from there. So let me go ahead and put this aside. I'll open this up. Yeah, I loved the pink, and I loved that the color matched the Le Fleur collection, but when I put it in the soft covers, the color of the discs and so forth don't really matter. And I did love the pink. I just wasn't loving that I could not find a pink that matched this color, this shade. The pink I found was too light, so that was kind of bugging me. So it just kind of worked out that it happened to snow, and that inspired the new planner setup. I'm actually going to leave these off. These are kind of hard to get in. So let me keep getting these out. The new planner has metal discs. The old one still had the plastic discs. So I much prefer the metal discs. I just was willing to forego that because I did like that shade of pink. But because I can't match a vinyl color to it, I just didn't want to go that route. So this worked out perfectly. Hopefully I don't ruin any of these pages pulling them out. I can pull them in, pull them out, and sometimes they get a little worn. I'm going to take that out. Oh, actually this has to go in there. Sorry about that. That marks my paper. So this is, it's going to be a little different. I don't know that I've ever had a contrasting, I mean, white complements, the white discs complement the black cover, but I don't know that I have ever had that shade. I think I've always had like a pink or blue. Oops, let me hide that. I'm going to put these in there together. I just had some personal information in there. Of course, I can't get it in there. There we go. Let's get this in there. And good, good. I started filling my planner in, and I didn't want to have anything come across I didn't want on camera. So another note I wanted to make was, typically I would go through and do the weeks for the month as a plan with me as well. But I think given the time that I'm already behind for January, I likely won't do that, but I will do a quick flip through at some point once they're all completed. And I think that'll still give you the idea of what I did. And so I have just a few more pages here, and then we'll get on to the good stuff. This isn't too inspiring at this point, other than I'm really going to love how it's finished. So I took some time today, and I'll show you what I mean, I have to take this last part out because I do have some information in there. Okay, so what I wanted to also mention was that I had today taken some time to put onto the blog and store, if you recall, these name vinyls. So I had a couple of fonts that I really do like, and I wanted to offer them for sale. And I don't want to get into like a ton of custom options, but I did take the 4 that I use most, and I did add them into the store today. So I think the options for like choosing the font and so forth is still not quite right, but they are in the store. You can certainly order them at behindthedesigns.blog and choose your font. You know, it will not have an option yet for drop down. That's coming. But if you find something you like, when you put your order in, I will have your email, and then I can email you and ask you what your choices are. So just to show you quickly, this is the options that you'll have, and they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll be able to order either one of these. There'll be colors as well. Again, those drop down options, though, I'm still working on, but they're coming, and it's in the store. So let's go ahead and start right in on January. So this now, if you remember, is my creative journal. I was struggling a bit to figure out how I was going to proceed with it, but I do have a plan, and today we're going to work on the January monthly. And I'm going to do again, this is from the, just to remind you, this is from the Butterflies and Blooms planner. And the cover, the tab art is beautiful. So I'm going to just set my planner aside here so I can get you in screen. I feel like I'm shuffling everything so quickly. So there we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to stick with the snowflake theme. And I have these, so this is from, I have the Cheerful Seasons sticker book. And then I have, the back page has all these silver snowflakes, really sparkly and fun. I also have this extra sheet I never used. I have some blue ones. I had pulled this sheet because I'm thinking I may use the January, and then I have these also in kind of that color blue, dark blue. These, again, I couldn't tell you what book they came out of because I had taken apart my books years ago, filed them under certain tabs, and I just don't remember what books these came out of, and I apologize for that. I also took some time since the last video to go through and update the Behind the Designs store on behindthedesigns.blog. If you go to that top menu, there's on the far right side the BTD store. So that's been updated. There's also an update to the Shop My Post page, which is under the Hello drop-down menu. So you can feel free to take some time and check that out, and I appreciate your support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out some of the writing up here. I'm just going to white it out. My plan at the moment is to kind of carry around and then down the side snowflakes. I don't want to put any boxes or stickers in the middle here because my purpose for this monthly is to basically write a memory a day. So I have some filling in, obviously I'll have to go back and do, but I want to keep the months free because I intend to structure my creative journal along the same lines of my catch-all with the monthly theme. I'm going to try and keep them similar. So, but then on the creative journal, I'll have the memory a day, which if I don't get to my week horizontal portion for a couple days, at least I can turn back and see what was the memory of the day, and I can write about that, and that'll give me kind of like a little tickler to help me write my horizontal pages out. So let me go ahead and take out both. I just don't want them to show through under the snowflakes because, again, they're transparent. I'm going to highlight, or sorry, not highlight, but I'm going to erase this. And I think I'm going to erase this as well, or hide it. So this is just a Bic whiteout easy correct. It's just a tape that I can roll along. It's super, super easy and I love using it. I believe this is in the store as well. So what I was originally going to do was silver, but then I saw these blue ones. Aren't those so fun? And I thought I might mingle the two together because I intend to use this January month at the top. And then I may or may not use these numbers. They're blue, but they sort of look purpley, I guess. But I'm going to keep those in mind. And then, so that means I'm going to need to leave space here because I will cover that up with the sticker. So let me start with that. And I'm going to take this off. I think I'd have to say probably January is the only month that I use blue. I think for the most part, purple, pink, fuchsia, those are just my color choice preferences. So, and I think this is actually going to work out pretty good because sometimes I am behind in my journaling or memory keeping, and so I think this is really going to be helpful to be able to log a day and then I can come back to it when I need to. Funny thing is I like this welcome winter, but technically I guess winter is in what? It comes in December, winter officially, but that's okay. I wasn't going to use that anyway. So then the next thing I want to do is probably, I'm going to leave this little space for a moment because if you remember, I like to go from left to right. And when I start this, I'm going to start in the corner because that is my largest area. And actually, let me get this out of the way so that I'm not constantly shuffling around the papers in your face. So let me get this over here. So I'm going to start with probably one of the bigger blue ones. I think I'm going to go for this one in the corner. And then I don't intend to necessarily make them all fit. I'm going to kind of hang some over the edges and let them flow freely along the top or side. I'm not going to worry about the lines going down in the sidebar. That I'm not too worried about. I think I was off camera a bit. So I think I just want to, and even this one, I don't think I want to necessarily get it exact. I did not want to cover the January month though, so that'll work. And then I'm going to anchor that by bringing down into this corner another semi-large one with maybe a different look to it. So I'll go for this one here. Oops, pull the paper up. Wow, this one's sticking. There we go. The only thing I've noticed about the clear stickers is that you just have to be careful sometimes if the paper pulls up, because if you pull it too fast, you might actually rip a corner. So I am going to put this one, I think, not necessarily in the corner. I'm going to kind of hang it over a little bit. And then as I go along, I'm going to kind of trim some of the edges off because I don't want it to stick like it is now. I don't want it to stick to my desktop. So I'll just go through periodically and trim some edges off. Although I will keep them. You never know where you can fill them in. And then this one here as well. Sorry, I had something stuck to me. Okay, so this one I'm going to grab, if I can pick it up. Let's flip it over so I can see where I'm going. So as a general rule, I try and anchor my corners or sides, especially if I'm doing something like this along this lines where I'm doing kind of a cascade effect. So I'll take that same blue snowflake paper and I want to just pop one over in this corner. And I don't want the same design, so I think what I'll do is I'll just grab this funky little one. It's kind of a strange snowflake. It's square. But that'll work. So I'm gonna just kind of pop this in over here. Just so now I've got my anchors in and I can just build around that, which makes it easier when you're putting down something like this. I don't want to lose the border of the calendar, the month. So I'm gonna, and I think these colors are a complement. So let's do this. And then, and I'm gonna mix in both the blue and the silver. I think it'll give it a nice dimension to have the two different ones. And then just like in the catch-all planner, I have this blank space down here, and I am going to add, I was trying to measure it. I wanted to do this. I just wanted a bunch of blues and fun colors. I don't know that that's going to fit though. If anything, it's going to go up a little bit into here. So let me test that first, and let me grab the handy dandy Signo Uniball gel pen in white. I'm gonna go ahead and, because sometimes getting this larger one in helps me to see, it's not working, helps me to see where I'm putting everything along the side edge. So I'm just gonna, and that one's picking up already. Let's just check that quick. So sometimes it just has to like gather a ball of ink in order for it to start covering those lines. I don't think, oh, maybe it is as wide as this, but either way, we'll cover the whole thing and make sure that it, sometimes too, if you go slower with the pen, it has a chance to ink the end of it before you move on to the next box. So I'm just going to give this a second. I think I'm going to retry this. Make sure I have some ink first though. Is it dry? Sure. So this is, yeah, it's one of the challenging parts. Once you, as I mentioned in a previous video, once you ink it, if you go back over with it, for whatever reason, it just doesn't cover very well. But I'm not worried about that too much because I can cover that. So let me grab this quote that I was thinking of trying to fit in here. And I think it's going to come up, if I measure, if I eyeball it, it's going to come up a little bit there, which is perfectly fine. Technically winter starts in December, but we typically won't see the snow really fall until around January, February time frame. So let's see if I can get this on here. We dry. Yep. So, because as you know, you only have one shot. I want to center it as best as I can. And if it falls over the edge, that's okay. I think that's doable. I can certainly make work in there anything I needed to write. Is it hanging over just a little bit here? Okay. That was good. Only one end of that. Okay. So moving on to go back to the snowflakes. Now that I said I don't jump around, but I did just because I needed some kind of anchors for what I'm doing and where. So now that I have the blue down, I want to start building around that with the silver. Go alternate, you know, a couple silver, a couple blue, or vice versa, just to start getting, and it doesn't matter what size, because again, if you hang over, you can trim it off. So I'm just gonna literally start throwing some on here. And the beauty of the clear stamp or the clear stickers is I've covered some of this blue one, but you can't really tell because they're clear. They're really versatile. So I'm going to kind of go both ways. I'm going to go down and across both ways because I want to make sure I don't duplicate the same pattern snowflake on either side. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. This one's pretty interesting. And I'm going to actually put this one closer to the January. And then I'm going to use, I'm going to do a couple silver just to, because this is blue, that's blue. So I will pull, I only have a small space here. So I'm going to just pull a smaller one. Because there's also these really tiny ones. And then if you recall from the previous video I did of my catch-all, I have the snowflake stamps. I actually have a couple different sizes. So, you know, throwing one of those in there will work as well, just to kind of fill in that space. And I would likely use, again, the same color, the speckled egg, distressed oxide. And that also is on the blog. I always like to let you know that the things I'm using, anything that I can get on there, I will put out there, because I know how frustrating it can be. You see something and you want to do it and you can't because you don't have all the same supplies. So I see these as like little snowflakes, like snowflake drops. So I'm just going to kind of throw them in randomly as well. I'm actually going to put them here to separate the silver. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to start going down this. Okay, so see that? So I want to bring this one down here further. I just don't want them too close together. And then I'm going to randomly grab snowflakes and just kind of go up in kind of a scattered format. Because again, if there's gaps, it's okay because I can fill in with the blue. I can fill in with some stamping. I'm actually going to take this next big one and I'm going to bring that up here. Yeah, I'll let that go there. And then I want to do one more silver, but I want to make it a different, let me do this one. I want a different, kind of a more subdued, there we go. Okay, so let me switch over here to the blue. Now these actually have quite a few large ones, but I also had, and I almost forgot, these from the Essential Cheerful Seasons sticker book. So I got to keep that in mind because, but these are not individual, they are actually groups. They're grouped together. So let's go back to my blue ones. The silver I think are easy enough. It's the blue ones that I may run out of. So let's grab the next big one. Did I use this one yet? I've used that, I've used that. And that's way over there. So let's grab this one. I just try and distribute the style of them so that it's not so obvious. And this one I'm going to bring up into the day. And then I'm going to start throwing in some snowflakes, various sizes. my only goal with this is to make it look wintry. I have no pre-decisions made about it should, be perfect, or it should be in line, or it should be this. It's just scattered snowflakes. So I'm going to also use some of the, these little, I guess they're like falling snowdrops. I'm going to use some of those to also fill in. Let's leave that there. Let's grab another one. I actually may grab the Snowflake stamp because that will help to fill in the little tiny spots that there's not a whole lot of room to put anything, but I want to kind of fill it in. So let's just put this one here. Okay, now before I use all my blue, let me come back to my right side here. Make sure my book's out of the way. Now the nice thing about this book is I'm seeing they're grouped. So I can probably get a good coverage of a span. So let's try that. Let's go with, because I do want to go in between the pages here, but I may need to find which one's going to work. So let's do this here. And that's okay if I can overlay numbers over that. That's not a problem. I think I'm going to use a blue one to split the page. And I think I'm going to go with, I need it fairly big, but not too big. So let's try this one here. Let's see if this one will work. Get my pages lined up so that it matches. Okay, let me cut the page in half. You can do one of two things with it. You can either cut your page, or you're not like cutting the page. All you're doing is separating the snowflake. Let me make sure I'm on camera here. And all you're gonna do is just run I'm just using an X-Acto knife, and just run it down lightly, just enough to pull your pages apart. Sometimes it's hard to tell. I don't like to try and cut too much, especially if I'm cutting the actual page, because it might filter over onto the back. So you just have to be careful when you're using the X-Acto knife. So let me trim these edges so I'm not sticking anymore on the desktop. We have one over here and another here, another one up here. Just trying to clean up these edges a bit so I'm not sticking as I try and shift the pages around. I think there's only one on this side. Okay. So that was just so that I could get a good snowflake right in the middle there. I wanted it to cover. I didn't want to have to repunch the page. So that works out perfectly. And then next I'm going to just keep going over here and filling it in. I do have the space for the dates, which were on this page here. So let me try getting those in, because if I use a blue snowflake and it covers that area, then I don't have anywhere to put it. So let's see, 2023. I went through my whole calendar one year on an undated calendar, only to realize I had actually dated them all incorrectly. So that was frustrating, but you just start over. It is a bit purpley, but it matches this blue, so for the most part. So I'm gonna go with that. So we're gonna do, whoopsie, I almost did it, 2023. Finish this up here. I'm just gonna kind of bounce it a little bit instead of making it all, sometimes making it even is boring. So I just vary it up. Just makes it a little fun too to have it different like that. Okay, so we have 2023. You probably hear my dog barking. She's a bundle of Spitfire, let me tell you that. So you may hear her a lot on video. So then I'm going to go, I did silver, so let me go over here to blue, and I'm going to pull one of these. And I'm going to get as much of it onto the page as I can. Next to, oh, you know what? Let me put another silver here just because that's blue. I like to kind of contrast it a little bit. So let's grab, that one's not the same now. Let's grab this one here. And see, now they're all starting to give me trouble. So let's see. I'm going to kind of take this one up off the page a bit. All right, and then I'm going to also grab another blue. I'm going to do a different one that's not so obviously a snowflake. And then I'm going to also toss in some of these little snow dots. What is it, a snow? I guess it's just a squall. I don't know what they're called. So let's do something, because they're both blue. Let's bring it down a little bit. And then I'm going to pull this silver one, this little itty bitty silver one. Kind of do this in between. And then let me step back here for a moment, see how we're looking. Let me get this cut off too so that I don't get stuck. I think on the other side, I am going to pull in one of these sets again, because it does make it easy when you have a set already done. It's got the little dots in between. It works out great. So let's find, I got to find a small one. I think I'm going to have to go with this one, but I'm going to flip it this way. The only downfall is they're kind of just in a row. This one's a little, you know, organic. Yeah, this one might be a little too I'm going to cut this one off though. And then I can place it somewhere else. So sorry. This is still part of my learning curve of crafting, or, you know, planning or crafting on camera as opposed to doing it on my own time. I have to remember that sometimes the camera is adjusting for me and what I do. So let's see if I can get this in here. Yeah, that fits a little better, and then I can surround some blue with that. I still have this one. Silver. Let's bring that down here. Okay. Again, let me cut this just so I'm not sticking. You ever notice you get done doing your stickers and your scissors have all the little shards of sticker pieces all over it? Those are joyous to get off. Okay, so I want to make this quick. I'm going to try and speed this up just a smidge because I see I'm getting on in the time frame. I do want to bring a few down here just to carry it over. So I'm going to take, I love these. These are really pretty. So I'm going to take one of these once it stops giving me trouble. And I want to put one over here. And then, I don't know, I want to do the same there. I think I'll take a small one. Since this already has a snowflake in it. And then I will fill in these with probably some stamps. Do a little bit here, because my blue ones, all I have is the dots. I have a few of these little, let me grab a couple of those instead. Since I did already put the silver down. These look like stars more to me than they do snowflakes, but they work. It all works. So let me grab a few more. I'm going to put this one down so I don't. So these little ones are hard to get off of the sticker paper. Yeah, these are definitely, they just look like stars to me. I don't know. So let me throw a couple over here. Again, there's no rhyme or reason when you decorate for any of your months. In my catch-all, I might decorate more than I do my business planner, which is the next planner I'll be sharing with you. So I think overall, without making it look like I just threw up snowflakes all over my paper, or my calendar, I think I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to stop at the moment to give myself time to breathe and think about it, see if there's anything I want to add or not add. Let me get my planner, put it back in, see how it looks. Let's see, we have our February. Let's see, I think it goes right here. I am loving how it looks though. And I like it better with the white discs now that I've done a spread in color. And I can sit back and look at it now. I do like that they're neutral because then I can see the beauty of the stickers a little bit more. So I think for now I'm going to end that, and I may tweak it a little off camera. I'll come back and share any picture of it that I do, but I think I'm good for now. So this is my creative journal. I will be on each day marking just a memory. I'll jot down a thought, a memory, a quote, and I'll use that as the sound off to do my horizontals. And then I'll come back in February and we'll be doing the horizontal too. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching.